Mr. Chambers, could you please announce patron number 3 for us?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Damon Barone, let me make sure I get the items correctly. Item 6.2, consider approval of new hires and leaves of absence. 6.3, approval of resignation report. 6.4, consider approval of new administrators. 6.9, consider approval of budget amendments. 6.11, financial activity report. 6.16, consider approval of COVID-19 resolution for the 2021 school year. Item number 7, report and consider approval of the 2021 school start plan. 10.1, consider superintendent duties, contract, and compensation. 10.2, consider board member duties and responsibilities. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Chambers. Mr. Barone, could you also share the last 4 digits of your number?
6823.
Phone number.
6823.
Thank you, Mr. Barone. You have 5 minutes to speak. Your time begins now.
Greetings, Damon Barone, Alief ISD parent, taxpayer, and alumnus. I have a few questions I would like to ask and receive answers to. Who is on the district's COVID-19 task force and what are their professional qualifications? If a teacher tests positive for COVID-19, are they required to quarantine for 2 to 3 weeks? Is an exposed teacher, bus driver, or custodian quarantine time off going to be paid time off for them? Does the quarantine time count against their vacation time, sick time, or their state or local days? If a COVID-19 exposed teacher has 5 classes a day with 30 students in each class, do all 150 of that teacher's students need to stay home and quarantine for 14 days? Do all 150 of those students have to get tested for COVID-19? Who will pay for those COVID-19 tests? Will COVID tests be conducted at their local school campuses? Will all district parents be notified, not just those in the presumed teacher's classroom? Does everyone in each of those 150 students' immediate family get tested? Who will pay for the test of those exposed students and family members? What if someone who lives in the same house as an Alief teacher tests positive for COVID-19? Will that teacher be required to take 14 days off from work to quarantine? Will the teacher's time off be covered as paid time off? Does the quarantine time count against their vacation time, sick time, or their state or local days? Where is Alief planning to find substitute teachers who will work in a classroom full of exposed, possibly infected COVID-19 students for substitute pay? Substitutes teach in multiple schools in multiple districts. What if they are diagnosed with or exposed to COVID-19? Do all the kids in each school, classroom, and the districts the substitute taught in have to be quarantined and get tested? Who's going to pay for these COVID-19 tests? What if a student or a teacher in the classroom of an Alief teacher's own child's class tests positive for COVID-19? If an Alief teacher's own child tests positive for COVID-19, does every student and their teacher that Alief employee has been around have to quarantine as well? Will all district parents and staff get significant details and timely notices beyond generic messages of students and staff may have been exposed emails and YouTube videos all year long? I have all the same questions for other district employees such as custodians, cafeteria workers, bus drivers, vendors, and contractors who may become exposed to COVID-19. In all of the district's proposed plans, you keep telling us the what of the plans, but not yet have you told us the how the plan is supposed to work. The district has been communicating with us through YouTube, but the public is not allowed to post questions or comments using the same platforms which you continue to try to communicate to us through. How can you ask parents and staff to fill out district return to school surveys and expect us to tell you what we want to do as far as opening and returning campuses, but you've not given us a clear and concise plan for us to consider? And Alief's academic school year begins in 2 weeks. You want parents, students, and employees to answer yes or no regarding coming back to school districts before we know what the district's full plan of how you intend to keep students and staff safe from COVID-19 risk and exposures. What exactly is the COVID-19 resolution for the 2021 academic school year, and when did the conversation for this resolution occur for the public to hear about the details of the proposed resolution. What does the district plan on doing different from this year and all of the previous years based upon the results of the risk load assessment and Dr. Roger Cleveland's equity assessment audit results, which we all discussed on January 15, 2019, March 2nd, 2019, July 16, 2019, and February 15, 2020 school board meetings? How many resignation stipends per Alief's 2019-2020 district improvement plan were given out to teachers during the 2019-2020 academic school year for their early resignation submittals? How much was each educator paid individually for their resignation? How much in total were all of the educators paid for their cumulative resignation submittals? Why is the current superintendent's contract not posted on the district website, and when can we expect for it to be posted on the website? Damon Barone, Alief ISD taxpayer, Alief ISD parent, Alief ISD alumnus. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barone. Thank you for your comments and your questions. At this time, Mr. Chambers, could you provide the information for the fourth patron to speak tonight?
Yes, ma'am. This is Jerome.
You have been removed from the call.